They remembered a car crash that didn't happen. From Redditor the name's Clove, I vividly remember this girl at my school dying in a car accident after she drove over the side of an exit ramp that was having construction done on it, and the reason she didn't realize it is because she was texting. I remember my sister and her friends going to the funeral. She was in my sister's grade. We lived in a small town and I remember everybody talking about it for weeks. Fast forward almost 10 years, I've told my fiancé the story enough times she knows the girl's name by heart, mainly to try to convince her not to text while driving. My fiancé is from the other side of the country, and I never go back to my hometown, so she doesn't know any of the people I went to high school with personally. One day she's looking at my sister's Facebook page and says, "Hey, isn't this that girl who died?" And I come over to check it out. Turns out she's alive, married to an old friend of mine, with a kid, and no one remembers the car accident/funeral. I'm still so confused. They remembered their uncle's passing. From a former Redditor, I knew my uncle had died. My mom had called me and told me the news. It was very sad. She told me in the middle of work and I told one of my coworkers. He expressed his condolences on my loss. A couple weeks later, my sister mentioned my aunt and uncle doing something. I said, "But he's gone." And my sister said no, he wasn't. I called my mom, he was alive. To this day, I'm still not sure how much of it my brain imagined and how much was real. Did I really talk to my coworker? Was I even on the phone with my mom at all that day? It still freaks me out knowing that my mind could fabricate so complete and real a memory like that. They got a check for the exact amount they owed. From Redditor Branders 0N, I got a call from a police officer telling me if I didn't pay some old fines within a week, he would come arrest me. The total was $267.63, was about 2 weeks before Christmas, so I was really sweating it. The very next day I got a check in the mail for $267.63 for overpaid child support throughout the year. Craziest, most unexplainable thing I've ever had happen to me. They miraculously survived a motorcycle incident. From Redditor Shepherd of Hermas, I got in a motorcycle accident about 6 years ago. I'm going 45 mph through town and a woman, who didn't see me, turns left in front me. It could only have been a millisecond, but I remember weighing my options and thinking if I should try and go over the car or under it by laying the bike down. I put the bike down, it went straight under her car, and I went diagonally. I slid across the pavement wearing no helmet, no jacket, just jeans and a cheap zip-up hoodie from Walmart. So I slid for 80 feet or so, not sure on the exact measurement, but it was a long way on the pavement, and when I stop I just stand up. And the only thing wrong is that there is a hole in my hoodie cuff about the size of a dime. Not a scratch anywhere on me. I remember looking at it, then at my mangled bike, and just screaming in my head, "Physics don't work this way." They heard a phone call before it happened from Redditor Tog_the_destroyer. I was sitting in my car with just my dad, and I distinctly heard my sister, who was at home, say, "Are you guys almost home?" I'm scared in a very specific, concerned tone of voice. 2 seconds later, my dad's phone rings. Guess who's on the line? My sister, she said. "Are you guys almost home?" I'm scared in the same concerned tone of voice. I was pretty freaked out. They heard a disembodied voice inside the car. From Redditor Pistachio, when I was like 10 or 11. I was going to the beach with my aunt and her friends. There were 2 cars of US.to get there. We had to go through a very large industrial area. We didn't know the direction, so our car was following the other. Suddenly, they did an unexpected turn, and so our driver had to take a sharp bend. In that moment, we heard a very clear, loud voice inside the car laughing and saying, "Sharp bend, HM?" The driver immediately hit the brakes. We looked at each other, puzzled. We all recognized it as a voice not belonging to any of us. Their dream gave them winning lottery numbers. From Redditor Kavonicus, I've won the lottery twice by playing numbers that I saw in dreams the night before. First dream was me entering the numbers 4906 on a keypad for some reason, and the second dream months later was me using a bottle of 409. I only won a couple of $100, but it's better than nothing. I got exact matches both times. The idea that we are all living in a matrix has permeated the public conscious since Keanu Reeves's Neo broke through the veil of reality. These Redditors, however, shared their experiences with real-life matrix glitches that make us question whether Neo was onto something. From unexplained coincidences, personal Mandela effect experiences, and prophetic dreams, these glitch in the matrix stories are just real enough to make us wonder whether what we perceive is actually real at all. They got a check for the exact amount they owed. From Redditor Branders 0N, I got a call from a police officer telling me if I didn't pay some old fines within a week, he would come arrest me. The total was $267.63, was about 2 weeks before Christmas, so I was really sweating it. The very next day I got a check in the mail for $267.63 for overpaid child support throughout the year. Craziest, most unexplainable thing I've ever had happen to me. They saw the same woman in different places minutes apart. From Redditor your__moron, I was catching a skitran in one particular city about 15 minutes from where I get off. While I wait, there is a woman with glazed eyes asking people for money. She came up to me, stopped briefly, and asked, "Excuse me, could you spare some money? My brother is in the hospital and I'd like some money to buy him some flowers." That's rich, I thought. People are getting more and more obvious with their lines. Gave her $5, without even looking her in the face, convinced of her intentions. My train pulls up and I get on. I look through the glass at her walking around asking others for money as the train pulls away. The train arrives at the station 15 minutes later, and I walk down and out to the bus stop. There is only one bus in the direction I'm going, and just my luck, it is there waiting when I get off the train. So on the bus I hop and wait for the bus driver to finish reading his paper before the doors close, and we embark down the highway. After about 5 to 10 minutes of traveling, the driver pulls over for a routine stop. The doors open, and to my complete astonishment the woman from the skitran walks into the bus. A dozen roses in hand, she looks me right in the eyes as she walks past to take her seat. How in the blue hell did she get there? I took the train before her. I watched her at the train stop from inside as we pulled away. I went over a river. I caught the first and only bus going this particular direction. And not only did she beat me there, she had time to go to a store and buy a dozen roses. Their takeout dish changed on them. From Redditor Hades Smiles. Me and my friend were at a Chinese restaurant, and we ordered a General Tso chicken dinner and a shrimp lo mein dish. When we sat down, we took out both boxes and set them on the table about 2 feet apart. My friend opens the first box and we see a shrimp lo mein dish. It has all the things in there: noodles, shrimp, fried rice. He closes the box and opens the other box. Inside that box is another shrimp lo mein dish, shrimp, noodles, fried rice. Oh, I think they must have mixed the order. I was just about to say this when my friend says out loud, "Looks like they made a mistake and gave us 2, as he opens up the first box again. Inside of it is a General Tso chicken dinner order. General Tso chicken, white rice, and an egg roll. He froze and looked at me. I looked back at him, and we sat in silence. It took us 5 or so minutes to collect ourselves. I have no idea what happened. I saw myself from deleted user. I saw myself. This is my first time writing here. The thing is, I saw myself. Okay, let me explain it. When I was around 14/15, I was in a market with my parents, and I saw a kid with his parents who looked exactly like me when I was 6-7. I mean, he even wore my favorite sweater, which was a blue and white striped one. I couldn't believe my eyes. At first I thought that maybe it's a similarity. But no, it was me, everything the same, even the hair. I clearly remember well, because I had this thick, slightly curly hair. By the time I could get my parents' attention to show them, the little me had disappeared in the crowd. I still have fresh memory of that incident and tried to reason it out, but so far haven't come up with an answer. A glitch? Maybe.